Signs at the ready, Prutehi Latex and Savritidian gathered in Tizen Thursday to let their voices be heard.
The community is we're making our voices loud. We do not want the Guam Environmental Protection Agency to approve the Anderson Air Force Base's application for open burning and open detonation at Taragi Beach. And we have a protest going on outside. I hope some of you have seen the video. Quite a few of you have turned off your cameras. You know, we're here in person because this is a matter of urgency for all of us.
Monica Flores telling the Guam EPA board the way the Air Force applied for a permit to open burn and open detonate at Taragi Beach is illegal.
Open burning places hazardous waste munitions in an open metal container, pouring diesel on top and burning them in open air. By definition, open burn and open detonation is uncontrolled, and byproducts of burning and detonation are released directly into the environment. What the military, showed us in failing to look at these alternatives is that we're not worth it. That's what they're saying, that the people of Guam are not worth looking at these alternatives.
Jessica Nangalta is a farmer who teaches the youth about caring for the land. She and others sharing the same concerns.
Shocked me to the core. For people like me and many of us here who showed up to talk to you today and were outside, we revere land like Nana. I respect land like my great-grandmother. So to hear this proposal, I know it is my duty to voice my opposition because the health of our future depends on it.
Also speaking, Bobby Beneventi, a Jigo farmer whose husband is a fisherman.
It, without a doubt, does harm to our land, air, and sea, and the well-being of our people. OBD practices must cease immediately.
Guam EPA has not made a decision on the Air Force's permit application. Walter Leon Guerrero, Guam EPA administrator, telling his board it remains under review, adding that they are working with US EPA Region 9 on the waste permitting section of the application. He says they have been in contact with the military, who assured his agency that the Air Force is reviewing alternate technologies for waste munition disposal.
We've also indicated in a letter to the general that we think the open burning portion of the permit should be closed. We met with them. We met with the military. They indicated that to close that part of the facility, even though they have not used it since 2000, may inhibit some of their future work. And so, again, that is stuff that is discussion items. Try to identify what's the best path forward. Again, we review and look through our regulations to try to ensure that we are not breaking any laws in what we're doing.
Meantime, the organization represented by Earth Justice has since filed an appeal in the Ninth Circuit, hoping the court will reverse the dismissal of their lawsuit in the district court.
Was it a soda, a dye, or a coolant? Guam EPA continues looking into what was the bright green liquid seen coming up from the sewer in Harmon during heavy rainfall a couple weeks back. KIPA Administrator Walter Leon Guerrero telling board members Thursday that they have not had any luck tracking down the source or the person who may have dumped the fluid along Rojas Street. His agency is investigating with Guam Waterworks Authority. Well, the ethnic makeup of the economic landscape on Guam and Northern Marianas is drastically changing.
New data from the 2020 U.S. Census details the number of island areas. Tomas Manglutnia has the report by the numbers.
The U.S. Census says the pandemic impacted the quality of detailed social, economic, and housing data for island areas. However, data released overnight paints a clearer picture of the makeup of Guam and the CNMI. 153,836 people are on Guam. The largest race group is Pacific Islander at 83,368, 63,035 of whom are Chamorro, followed by 66,194 who identify as Asian, 54,242 of whom are Filipino. The median household income on Guam is $58,289. They found that 16.8% of families in Guam are experiencing poverty. Home ownership rose to 52%, and the average household size in Guam fell to 3.44 this year. Over in the NMI, 47,329 people live in the Commonwealth. The largest race group is Asian at 25,011. 17,719 of whom identify as Filipino, followed by 23,795 who identify as Pacific Islander, 17,163 of whom are Chamorro. The median household income in the NMI rose to $31,362. 33.7% of families in the NMI are experiencing poverty. Home ownership is at 28.3%, with the average CNMI household size at 4.15 this year. KUAM will continue to unpack the stories behind the numbers. Tomas Manglona for KUAM News.
GovGuam's general fund ended fiscal year 22 with a whopping $103.6 million excess in revenues over projections. The year-end September consolidated revenue and expenditure report released by Budget Bureau shows the income taxes end some $71 million more than projected, while business privilege taxes finished more than $34 million over adopted projections. However, the report also shows that lawmakers passed multiple appropriations using the excess revenue. These include $25 million for the Local Employer Assistance Program, or LEAP, and $20 million for capital improvements and specialty doctors for GMH. That leaves a net unobligated projected general fund revenue balance of $47.5 million. The numbers are still subject to a final audit.
And legislation to require employers to provide reasonable accommodations for pregnant women at their workplace was moved to the voting file during the first day of the October session. Bill sponsor Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes says it would help to ensure that they can continue working.
The Pregnancy Fairness Act would clarify that employers must make reasonable accommodations for workers affected by no limitation due to pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions. Require an interactive process between the employers and pregnant workers to determine appropriate reasonable accommodations similar to the Americans with Disabilities Act.
She says it sets a clear standard for employers to provide temporary job modifications for pregnant employees, and it would also protect them from harassment or retaliation for requesting reasonable accommodations. And substance abuse in the workplace is often overlooked, as those struggling still manage to hold down a job. DEA resident agent in charge Ken Bowman sharing how employers can recognize the signs.
You have physiological characteristics that go along with it, such as, like with meth, increased energy, dilated pupils, the teeth start to turn black, hair loss. Some of them pick at their skin, so you see little scabs and stuff. It's really sometimes difficult, though, because I also explained to them, I'm sure you've heard the term functioning alcoholic. That's someone you don't even know is an alcoholic because they're good at hiding it.
Bowman sharing substance abuse on Guam is usually meth. Employers can help by first identifying the problem and then encouraging employees to seek help.
Some important information. Thank you for sharing. Well, still to come on Your News Leader, a local attorney is nominated to sit on the bench in the Superior Court. Find out who next.
And it's Think Pink Day. We here at KUAM are doing our part to raise awareness, funds, and show support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Keep it here to KUAM News.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Half a day. I'm Tom Fisher. Here's the harsh reality. A trip to the grocery store for the basics, eggs, bag of rice, butter, can of Spam, milk, costs almost $30, and that's just 5 items. The cost of living continues to grow, but the money doesn't. We need to roll back the business privilege tax to reduce Guam's cost of living, and I will make that happen.
Vote Thomas Fisher for senator. If you want different, vote different.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this message.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Panilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
Half a day. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan. Throughout this campaign, I've been presenting my plans to reduce inflation, rebuild our tourism industry, and fight the crystal meth and crime problems plaguing our island. Our government can do more to lift the burdens facing our families. If elected, I will be ready on day one to get to work to help make Guam safe again and urgently rebuild our economy. I humbly ask you, please vote Jesse Anderson Lujan, number 7, Republican. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
This is my island. I am more qualified to be governor of Guam.
Basically, you have no say.
For all who call Guam home, this is our island.
It's time for leaders who value each and every person. You have a voice and a say. It's a new season. We humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Felix Camacho.
I'm Tony Ada.
We approve this message.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Ah, thanks, Taco Bell!
What you need to know from the Northern Marianas. Follow KUAM CNMI on Instagram for the latest regional headlines.
Welcome back to your news leader.
Attorney John Terlahi has been nominated by Governor Lou Leon Guerrero to be the next Superior Court judge. The governor says Terlahi was one of the top 3 lawyers recommended for a seat on the bench in the survey of the Guam Bar Association. She said she recently interviewed him and he accepted her nomination.
You know, he holds the wide array of experience. He does litigation, he does civil work, he does, I think, corporate work. So like most attorneys on island is a generalist kind of attorney. But what I like from his experiences is all the litigation and the, like I said, the civil cases and so forth. Gives him a wealth of experience that on the court making decisions, I think he would make some very fair and judicious and justice decisions.
According to the nomination letter submitted by the governor's office, Terlahi earned his law degree from Western Michigan University. He has been in private practice in Guam and a member of the Guam Bar Association since 2002. Attorney Terlahi was one of the legal counsels for the Archdiocese in the clergy sex abuse case. His nomination is still subject to the consent of the legislature. And a new airline will be taking to the skies in the next year. Northern Pacific Airways says it's ready to start routes to Australia, Korea, and Japan, originating from Saipan. Its first plane in their fleet touched down on Saipan on Wednesday.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia reports.
There's now more competition in the friendly skies.
Yesterday is a monumental day for the Marianas. We have the Northern Marianas Airway, 757, close to 200 passengers on the plane. Guys, we have a flagship airline.
And CNMI Governor Ralph Torres says he's all in.
We need to give them 100% support in any and every way, whether it's tax exemption, CPA, whatever that they can give. I know they're regulated to certain things, but whatever that they can give incentive, we should help these folks.
The airline is giving public tours of their plane this week. Mariana Southern Airways, who recently launched inter-island flights this year, is working with Alaska-based Northern Pacific Airways to take off as early as next March.
What we're doing is creating a airline that's hubbed and based here in the CNMI, opening service first to Australia with services to Sydney and Brisbane. We are first looking at 5 flights a week coming from those 2 locations.
Their goal is to stay locally rooted. They say they're prepared to commit $100 million in assets to the market. It's a plan they've been working on for 3 years.
We are looking to have controlling ownership and decision-making controlled here in the CNMI, where for the last number of decades, really all the air service that's been coming in to the Marianas, including Guam, has really been airlines that are from other countries.
He tells us somebody has to do it. Tomas Manglotnia for KUAM News.
Well, the CNMI legislature is once again in gridlock, this time over the details of when and where CNMI Governor Ralph Torres will deliver the constitutionally mandated State of the Commonwealth Address, or SOCA, in a House joint resolution expected to be introduced in session next week. House leadership's calling on the governor to deliver the SOCA instead of December 1st at 10 in the morning in the House chamber. Governor Torres recently calling for a joint session at a time and place of his choosing for October 31st at 10 in the morning at Kensington Hotel. The speech at the hotel is open to the public, and the governor says all are welcome. Some House Democrats are calling the event a campaign rally ahead of the November general election. The last SOCA was 4 years ago. A source familiar with the issue tells KUAM that the Senate plans to introduce a joint resolution of their own, mirroring the governor's request in session next week. KUAM has reached out to Senate President Jude Hofschneider for comment.
And earlier this week, we took you to the Guahan Youth Summit, where students are learning how to write policy.
Our Daniel Perez checks in with them on the last day of the week-long summit.
Crafting bills was the main topic of this year's Guahan Youth Summit. During the 4-day event held at the Hilton Resort in Tumon, 70 students from each of the island's public high schools got the chance to learn how to write and craft bills. The event was made possible by the Close-Up Foundation in partnership with the Guam Department of Education. The goal of the Youth Summit was for students to look at local legislative issues, tackling them, and coming up with legislative proposals and recommendations of their own. George Washington High School student Leanne Choram shared what bills her group came up with and what issues it addresses.
Our committee that we're doing is Children, Family, and Health. So we did research based on that group, and we found many interesting things, such as stuff dealing with child abuse as well as insurance.
Jemima Alokoa, also from George Washington High, says she was glad to be part of the Youth Summit and got the chance to collaborate with students from other schools.
I learned many things from different committees, like environmental and healthcare and school budgeting and all that. So it's a great thing to have this Youth Summit, to meet other people and meet new friends.
Both Choram and Alacoa shared that they enjoyed the Youth Summit this year and would gladly take part in another one if they can. The summit wrapped up with the students presenting the bill proposals and recommendations they made to a number of senators from the 36th Guam legislature. Senator Sabina Perez gave her thoughts on the importance of this year's summit.
I've always been an advocate for education. I was a former teacher myself, but I think it's really great to have this hands-on experience to craft bills, and the sooner they can do it, I think that helps to build capacity. We definitely need capacity when it comes to writing bills, and definitely want to support all the efforts here today.
Select high schoolers are also chosen to take part in a federal program that allows them to go to the nation's capital for a week-long program where they look at and tackle federal issues. Daniel Perez, KUAM News.
Thanks, Daniel, for that report. Well, Think Pink this October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a time dedicated to educating and bringing awareness to the early detection of breast cancer.
It's why we're also wearing pink today for all those who have been touched by breast cancer. Here's Matsuki Hirayama with tonight's Coordinating for a Cause.
Breast cancer survivors and island leaders wearing pink at Adelup to proclaim October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The administration cabinet members also in pink signing a pledge to join the fight. And one woman sharing her journey as a breast cancer survivor of 27 years is Guam Harmony Lions Club Charter President Linda Tolan.
My advice I can share to you all: don't be afraid to create a purpose or a hobby to have a meaningful life. Take good care of yourself and share your blessings. Look at me now at 74 years old.
Saying that's what kept her cancer-free all these years. And of course, the unconditional love of her family and pets.
My fur babies, my dogs, my cats, are my loyal companions, also serve as my emotional therapy. And enjoying life to the fullest. It takes a lot of courage and determination to reach my destination.
You too can get your pink on and join the fight against breast cancer by signing up for a mammogram. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
And we here at KUAM are also ambassadors for the Real Men Wear Pink campaign with American Cancer Society Guam. Get your tickets now at guamtime.net for the Man Cave event scheduled to be held at the Hyatt on October 27th. Also, you can get involved and support breast cancer awareness by donating at kuam.com/thinkpink. Now for a look at your world at home, here's a view captured today from up top the ITC building, giving us a look at Tamuning. Some clouds there in the sky. What do meteorologists got in store for us this weekend?
More rain for sure. The Guam National Weather Service predicting the weekend will have 50 to 60% chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Hopefully there's some sunny moments to get outdoors and hit the beach. We'll be right back.
People from all over the world call Guam home, and this diversity defines who we are as a community. That's why in Washington, D.C., we need a strong, passionate voice to speak for all of us, but not just a few. We need James Moylan to represent all Guamanians, to make sure the changes happening in our island are for the better. This November, vote James Moylan for U.S. Congress. Guam's future hasn't been written yet, and that's why we need Jim to lead us all there together.
Power on with the strength of a Ram during Ram Power Days, happening now at Cars Plus Guam. Save up to $8,000 off on a brand new Ram truck today. My name is Jose Delgado, and you can contact me at 671-929-3645 to schedule a test drive, or you can visit our website at carsplusguam.com to learn more. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Hi, today I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, basketball highlights from the Tritons Men's Basketball League over at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse between UOG and MVP. Check it out.
MVP's JP Cruz was eating at the Fieldhouse. After scoring 4 points in the first quarter, Cruz came back out in the second and scored 12. With 16 at the half, JP went to work in the third, hitting for another 12 points. It was only getting started because in the fourth, JP Cruz put up 26 points to finish the game with 54. Carl Melencio with the rebound, pass down court to Sandy Farron. Cruz with another deep ball in the fourth quarter. Darryl Robles chipped in with 8 points for the Tritons off the missed attempt by Jacob Mercado. Robles goes back up for 2 points. James Stake finished the game with 13 for MVP. Stake good from the outside, assisted by Sandy Farron. Cisco and Kenko scored 10 points for UOG. Logan Hopkins led all scorers for the Tritons with 13. MVP pulled away with the win, 110-62. John Chaka was the second leading scorer for MVP with 20 points. Next on the schedule, Tuesday, October 25th, 6:30 p.m., 4 Stars taking on Team OG. And then at 8:15, MVP Stars face the KFC Bombers. On Sunday, October 30th, round 10 of the 10-round Monster Energy Guam Motocross Championships will take place at the Guam International Raceway in Jigo. Open practices will take place from 7 in the morning to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. will be registration and a riders meeting, followed by Heat 1 at 10:30 in the morning. Now for some programming news on Monday's NFL games right here on the stations of KUAM. Monday, October 24th, the early game for you on KUAM TV 11, NFL on CBS, Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys. Then at 10:15 in the morning, switch the channel over to KUAM TV 8, Sunday Night Football on NBC, the Steelers taking on the Dolphins.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Buenas, I'm Amanda Shelton. Whether creating the first Veterans Bill of Rights, increasing scholarship funding for college students, creating the Opioid Recovery Fund, providing pandemic relief to companies, or pushing to raise the cost of living for our manamku, my time as a lawmaker has always been about empowering people. I metgut na isla tumatuhun kon metgut na kabatsizu, who prometi how esti.
Please re-elect Amanda Shelton for Senator, Johnny Cole Torres, Treasurer.
World famous chicken served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. All right. And nothing completes a meal like KFC's signature sides. Hot mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a flaky biscuit. The world's favorite chicken, right here on the island, and only at KFC Guam. Whoops! Well, it is finger looking good.
Introducing the new Choice Bundles from GTA. Choose from the services you want and save big when you bundle. Fast internet speeds, unlimited mobile data, digital TV that you can stream anywhere, and digital home phone for Guam's most reliable network. The more you choose, the more you save. Over $1,000 a year. And for a limited time, bundle Internet 75 or higher and get a $100 account credit. Visit GTA.net and use our bundle calculator to see how much you can save. GTA, we start with you.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
And now for a look at your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on this Friday, October 21st, to Jonathan, who celebrates birthday number 16 this year. To our son, an amazing left tackle. That's a responsible position. May your day be blessed and may your future be bright, safe, and full of happiness. We wish you all the best that life has to offer with love from Mom, Dad, your brothers, Damien and Drayden, Sister Aria, and your familia. And they say, Viva Guam. Happy birthday number 1 to Becky, and happy first birthday, Becky. We love you from the Adelbai family. And one of our own here at KUAM, Jacob Sablan, getting 2 shout-outs, of course, because Jake is that awesome. Greeting number 1 says, wishing you a beautiful day and many blessings for the year ahead. Happy birthday number 38. Ooh, calling out Jake on his age. We love you, Daddy. Hugs and kisses from Zane, Zariah, and Val. And also, happy birthday, of course. This is coming from us, man. Jake's a family member. He's been with us for so long. Happy birthday, Jake, from all of your KUAM family. Bro, we're happy to know you. It's been a long, long time that we've all been working together. So we wish you a wonderful weekend and a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to our cameraman,
Happy
Jake.
birthday, Jake.
You know he was going around saying he was a bit younger than what they said.
Yes. Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, my
at
goodness.
Least a year. At least a year. But it's his day. We'll let him do it.
It is. He could do it.
Also, a happy birthday to my goddaughter, Tori Brianne, celebrating her 18th birthday. We want to wish everyone out there celebrating a happy birthday. You can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by checking out KUAM.com. And it's that time where we announce the lucky winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club cake.
This week's Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake winner is Riley Chargaloff, who was born on the 19th. Happy birthday, Riley, again! And we'll be in contact to let you know when you can pick up your prize.
And that's going to do it for us here on the news desk. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Hannah Devonzo. Have a great weekend, everyone.
The One Micronesia podcast is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Half a day, another week, another episode. And with all the restrictions being lifted, I was like, you know what? Let's do this in person. So with me here, my guest for the podcast today is none other than Ed Leon Guerrero. Ed, thank you so much and welcome to the show.
Well, it's absolutely my pleasure, Victorious.
So yeah, thank you. I think if you don't know Ed, he is literally the face and the dude that runs the YouTube page called Pulan Speaks, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Amazing. And then so Ed, before we get to how it all began with the YouTube page and stuff like that, let's start with you, my man. So tell us more about you. Tell us more about Ed. I know before the interview you were telling me that you have your master's in Micronesian studies and stuff like that. So let's start there.
Oh yes. So you know, born and raised here in the beautiful, wonderful island of Guahan, and I have I have a bachelor's in sociology and political science, double major at our very own University of Guam.
Nice.
So yes, you don't have to go out in the States to get your degree. There's nothing wrong with University of Guam, okay? Just to let y'all know. Not only that, but then I also got my master's in Micronesian studies,
Nice.
which specialize in the study of Micronesia. And I'm currently doing a PhD in indigenous politics at the University at Manoa.
Nice. I mean, so let's talk about that. When it comes to education, when we all, I mean, that was then. Now it's different because now this generation is kind of turning towards looking back into our very own culture and history and stuff like that. Back then, it's like, okay, you go straight. I mean, and I'm not saying studying to become a doctor or because those are needed in our community.
Right.
But I mean, it's more of that that the generation now is really looking back and wanting to learn more about where they're from. So, what got you into Micronesian studies?
Oh, well, it was a way to channel this strong burning interest that I had in cultural studies and my own ethnic identity as a Tsamoru. Yes, I am Tsamoru, by the way. My own ethnic identity as being a Tsamoru, because, for the longest time, it was out of my mind. I didn't really care whether or not I was Tsamoru or not. I subscribed to the belief that, and this might be common for many of you who are watching, especially younger people, that, I'm just going to leave Guam and I'm going to, fulfill, get a job out there in the States and then just live out there, start a family and whatnot. And, every now and then I'll contact my family here on Guam. But the primary thing for me was, it was a way to channel in my deep desire to wanting to know more about my heritage.
Nice.
And not only that, but know more about this region, because the fact is that when I was younger, I knew more about the countries and the capitals of Europe, of Africa, of Asia, than I did about this very region of Micronesia, of the greater oceanic region as well, which to me is ridiculous. And that is something that I wanted to understand. Why is that? And how I could change that, and how I could do an impact to the community in order to help educate people, to help them understand more, to have a oceanic-centered point of view rather than a Eurocentric or another point of view.
Awesome. I mean, you're right. I mean, we grew up, learning about these things. We grew up, memorizing capitals of states in the U.S. when we don't even know the capitals of let's say the FSM or Palau or the Marshall Islands, the specific names of the capital. So that's really awesome that you brought that up, because it's time, and like I said in the beginning, where this is the generation that's kind of turning away from that and kind of coming back to learning more about our region and our cultures and our history. So that's awesome that you happen to be one of those who are in the forefront of teaching this next generation that, hey man, there's more to learn about our home.
Absolutely agree with that sentiment 100%.
So Ed, before we take a quick break, so tell us more about what you've learned so far when it comes to the Micronesian studies and stuff.
Oh, well, one of the primary things that I've learned about Micronesian studies is how we should approach the idea of studying a region in the first place. How should we approach and understand the implicit assumptions within the methodology that we use to study regions? What are the assumptions in how we understand a region, which is, largely based off of anthropology. And as you know, Victorious, and as many people know, that anthropology for the longest time has been a tool used to classify indigenous people and used to understand them and classify them in ways that they have never classified them before. Like, for the example, the idea of Micronesia in itself, whether it exists as a legitimate cultural area, right, is a big topic, because the fact is that the region of Micronesia, right, is an artificial region that was created and maintained by French geographers, by American anthropologists, and so on. And that is something that indigenous scholars have been questioning. What is Micronesia? Does it even exist? Is its relevance as a cultural area? And what should we do about it? So that's one small thing that I'll just share about what I've learned so far and my understanding of Micronesian studies.
Wow, awesome. All right, guys, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to Ed and find out how he took his studies and what he learned at the University of Guam and how he took those and used it to, honestly, a really amazing thing, which is he created a YouTube page. So we'll find out about that YouTube page and how it all began coming up after this break. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast. We brought to you by Docomo Pacific. It's better together.
My name is Vincent Malfinas, and I'm from the village of Saranya. I had a stroke. So, I'm just in time of recovering right now, and, I still need that assistance. I saw the commercial on social media. I thought, let me give it a try. I came in, and they pointed me to the right person that could help me. And after that, it seemed like the process started going a little bit faster. They ended up contacting me a little bit after that. I was able to get my Medicaid approval. I believe in the Relief Center. It works. When somebody is willing to go over and beyond for you without question, it touches the heart, It must mean something that God put the Relief Center there for a reason, because he knows it'll work. And the right people are put in the positions with big hearts. Governor Lou Leon-Guerrero and Josh has put this program into place, and it has helped me more than once. You have definitely helped me immensely. I owe you my life. Thank you. With all my heart, thank you.
Connecting people, devices, and applications. At Docomo Pacific, we know a business like Ambith needs to be able to adapt under any work environment to perform efficiently and stay operationally resilient. No matter what obstacles or opportunities your business faces, you need to connect with customers, employees, and partners in real time. That's why we do the heavy lifting, so you can jump right into what drives your success and meet your customers where they want to be met. Powering networks for performance, reliability, and satisfaction. Docomo Pacific. Work better together.
In the next 10 years, I'll be able to make my own choices for leadership. But until then, we're counting on you to choose leaders who want everyone who calls Guam home to have a voice. I need you to choose a well-rounded leader with real-world experiences. If I could vote, I would vote for James Moylan, a soldier, a law enforcer, a lawmaker, a fighter. This election, vote for me and the next generation of Guam leaders by voting for James Moylan for Congress.
Hafre, One Micronesia podcast, and we are back. We're talking with Ed Leon-Guerrero, the dude literally running Pulan Speaks, a YouTube channel. So, Ed, tell us more. How? I mean, we know you graduated from you got your master's in Micronesian studies at the University of Guam. You learned so much about our region, and you took that and you're like, you know what? Let me do something with this knowledge, that all these amazing knowledge that I've acquired over the years. So let's talk about how it all started. When did you think like, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube page?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to know more about the region, right? Because we were assigned a whole lot of reading, my man. A whole lot of reading, books, articles upon articles, and I'm like, I'm going to look on YouTube to see if there's anything that summarizes. So I looked on YouTube because, you know, what I would normally do is if I'm really interested in a region like Japan, for example, I would look up, what is some stories about Japan? What is some research about Japanese culture? And I would find it. But when I looked up about Micronesia, I found pretty much not really anything. There is, of course, the Micronesian seminar by Francis Hazel, but those were so long videos, right? I just wanted things that would be concise, that would just put it out there to your face and not have, you know, a lot of, you know, for lack of a better term, fluff, you know, which was required for his documentaries and so on to meet a certain time length, right? And so that's what gave me the idea. I'm like, okay, so I'm sure I'm not the only one interested in this information. Why don't I then translate all these academic materials and make them easily digestible for the entire community? So people like me and other people could look them up and be like, oh, this is great. There's information about the region and it makes sense. I don't have to read no 200-page book by Glenn Peterson, for example. Just watch a 10-minute video from Pulan Speaks. And so that was the reason, right? The rationale, the why I decided to make Pulan Speaks, to create digestible contents about the Marianas, about Chamorros, but not only them, but about Micronesia and about the greater oceanic region for our people, for the people of the Pacific, so they could watch and educate themselves and empower them as well.
Honestly, when I saw what you were doing on your page, like I said, it was a quick flashback to the Micronesian seminar. I mean, going to school in high school at Xavier, when we were doing Micronesian studies, we were literally reading everything from Micronesian seminar, and it was so cool to know that somebody took time to really make those videos, to sit down, do the research, and of course that is none other than Father Francis Hazel, who did an amazing job of telling our stories. But I think at the end of the day, I remember it was in an interview, he said, he wasn't doing that for his own good, but he was doing it to inspire other young Micronesians to follow his footsteps and take over what he's done and create more videos. And guess what? Lo and behold, the years after, Ed here picked it up right from where Father Francis Hazel left off, and doing an amazing job, like you said. Like he did make hour-long videos. There's so many videos and so many parts of, like, part 1, part 2, part 3 of certain topics that he did. But what you did was you just took that and, like you said, you kind of minimized it to like specific things, like what is Micronesia, who are Chamorros, and stuff like little topics like that research. And I have a feeling there's a kid out there who did a project about Micronesia, maybe about a specific island, maybe about the Chamorro culture, that stumbled upon your video and used that video as a reference in his or her project.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the key things that I will always do, no matter what, is I will always cite my sources. So I could be like, you don't need to believe me. Look at the sources. Right. And if you have an issue, look at the sources, critique them, verify them. Right. I will never say that what I'm doing is absolutely correct. I would say, look at the sources. I'm just presenting my own interpretation of the sources for everyone to watch.
Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the reactions that you've got on the page.
Oh, yeah. So most of the reactions, about 90%, were amazing. Nice. They were astonished. They were like, wow, there's all this information about, for example, the Chamorro people before Magellan. Right. There's all this information of the pre-colonial Chamorros, or wow, there's that many islands in Micronesia, or wow, there's that many languages in Micronesia. Right? There's like, what? They're like, what? Yap. There's also Chukik speakers in these outer islands, while they have a different type of language in Yap proper. It's like, what? Yeah, so those are the main types of reactions that are getting. And then many people are like, oh, can you please do this video?
Nice.
Please do this video. Please do this video. And yes, it's amazing. The overwhelming majority of the reactions that I receive is absolutely positive absolutely encouraging. But then again, you're going to have some people
Of course.
who, and I'm sure you have many of them for this podcast right now.
Yes.
They're like, oh, how come you're not using better background or better camera equipment? Yeah.
Or a specific topic of who I'm interviewing too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why are you interviewing this guy, Pulan? He's just a young kid,
I mean, so before we go into another break here, Pulan, tell the people what it means.
What it means to...
Is it what Pulan?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Pulan is a Chamorro word which with multiple meanings, as is usual in many languages, And Pulan, the primary meaning for Pulan Speaks is moon, right? Pulan means moon. Pulan could also mean month, and it could also mean to watch over. Right, so if you could say, I Pulan, for example, hu Pulan ineni, I watch the baby, right? So it has those three primary meanings, Pulan. And the reason why I chose Pulan is because I've always been fascinated by the moon, and I always thought that, the moon is something at night, it's something that will be there at least for, 29 days out of the month. Right, and you will always see that, and it is always watching you. So that was one of my inspirations, the moon, and I decided to call it Pulan Speaks.
Awesome, nice. All right, well, Ed, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more. When we come back, we'll find out, what's in stores for, or what Ed has planned for the rest of the year, or what he's got coming up on the channel. So we'll be back. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast, brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Nutrition can be difficult, but we make it easy and convenient.
It's always best to do it with a friend or a group to help keep you all motivated and in check.
We have a new 6-week group wellness program that is meant to help you to eat healthier and also to live a healthier lifestyle.
Eating healthy has so many benefits like weight loss, increased energy levels, improved overall health, less doctor visits, and less money spent on medication.
So if you want to start eating healthier and you have a group of people that want to as well, come see us. Our program includes meals for 7 days a week. It also includes pre and post assessments and a standardized meal plan.
We also provide nutrition coaching, so come check us out today. We make it easy for you to eat healthy.
Let's get nutritious.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Half a day, One Micronesia podcast. We are back. We're still here with Ed Leon Guerrero, literally the guy behind Pulan Speaks, the YouTube channel that literally has anything and everything about Micronesia. So, Ed, so tell us more about. We talked about how it all started for you. We talked about you. We got to know you. We got to know how the channel started. So right now, let's talk about what's moving forward. What's next for Pulan Speaks?
Well, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Which is to create free videos free media content for everyone to watch about the region of Micronesia or even the greater Pacific region. So I will continue doing that. One big difference that I have started doing is I recently created a Patreon page. So for people who want to donate, and again, no one has to donate, but if you would like to support my channel, through monetary means, then you may donate through Patreon. So to support my channel, so I could get better equipment. Nice. And so I could, possibly get better, better equipment to get better audio, better video. Perhaps maybe in the future, this might be the way I make a living.
Right.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in the future. I would wish one day I could do this for a living, and maybe this is the start. So, and in terms of content, future content, well, it really comes down to whatever I feel like making.
Nice.
Or whatever my current Patreon supporters, what they suggest. So if you would like to suggest videos or content for me to create and have a higher chance of me making it, then become a Patreon for Pulan Speaks at Pulan Speaks.
All right. So before we close out this part, so of course you got the channel going. Is there something else that maybe you're seeing in the future that you kind of want to do I don't know, like pull out or something? Like I know you talk about bringing more content to the channel, which is amazing. But in terms of anything big that you want to do, or something that you kind of have at the back of your head, like, well, I kind of want to do that in the future.
I was thinking of doing, how would you say, a short actual film, right?
Wow.
A creative project which has nothing to do with educational content, but it was just a creative project about, just illustrating or illuminating ideas about Chamorro culture. For example, how walking in the jungle, to illustrate, have a short film, a documentary about, Tautamotna, for example, and respect, and to just showcase this through a film. But of course, that's just one idea. That's, I would say, it's absolutely far-fetched.
Right.
It's probably not going to happen anytime soon because the
might
budget,
not know. It might actually happen. So,
well, if KUAM wants to get on board,
there you go. I'll definitely talk to them, and we'll see what we got. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, well, Ed, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back to close out with final comments and all that. You're watching the One Micronesia podcast. It's been brought to you by Docomo Pacific. It's better together.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Panilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
Power on with the strength of a Ram during Ram Power Days, happening now at Cars Plus Guam.
save up to $8,000 off on a brand new Ram truck today. My name is Jose Delgado, and you can contact me at 671-929-3645 to schedule a test drive, or you can visit our website at carsplusguam.com to learn more. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Well, so that happened. First time in the podcast history got rained on. So, Ed, so just throw it out there before we close again. Last messages to your people who you follow, people who follow you and your page.
Yes. So one message I want to let everyone know is that if you are a creator, to just publish it. You yourself are your biggest limiter. Self-doubt is the biggest impediment. Please just publish it. If you're, for example, if you're a musician and you have this great guitar riff or great song you wrote, just publish it. If you have this poetry, that if you're into poetry and you wrote this great poem, just publish it. If you're like me and you want to make educational videos about this region, just publish it. Please just publish it. Send out, let